Make no mistake, 2023 is here already and political activities have begun in earnest. With the reforms in electoral laws, a lot of attention seems to be shifting to the grassroots. Will the politics of this era be played different from what we've always seen? A lot looks to be desired. Let's see how far politics has evolved at the grassroots. With me to discuss politics at the grassroots is Hon Innocent Okafor, a one-time councillor in Anyocha South Local Government and the former special assistant to Honorable Ndudi Elumelu, a representative of Anyocha Oshimili Federal Constituency. Hon Innocent, welcome to our politics today. Hon Innocent, having worked as councillor, should have armed you with sufficient knowledge of politics at the grassroots, and having worked with Honorable Ndudi Elumelu should have given you a wider scope of politics and politicking. Putting all these into perspective, what are the observable differences in the politics of the grassroots as it was being played then and what you have now?
My disposition in this would have to come without without any sentiments or any prejudice, you know. Down our days when we were in council, we noticed a kind of, there was an inclusive politics there. Actually, the grassroots was in charge of the politics. We played the politics from the grassroots to up, you know. So the word, that's the word setting then, as at that time, they were relevant in the system. It was a time when we used to have meetings of our party regularly, you know, like every other month. You are expecting a meeting every other month, so it was fun. There were this side of politics and also side of fraternity. So it was just there. It was something that we were looking forward to, you know, going for a meeting, participating from our wards, participating in the things that was happening in the state and all of that. But now, I don't know if it, in fact, it does not happen that way now. The politics is coming from the up to the grassroots. There's a kind of detachment from the grassroots to the state, you know. From the state now, orders are being given, do this, it will be done. I want to give an instance. During our days, then I was not yet a councillor, but a party man also, following up during the times of Ibori. You know, you needed not to be from Ohara or from anywhere before your works are being noticed, and before you were before you were compensated. It was just like that. I can stay here to count a lot of people, even from the ward level, that got contracts as at that time. That got contracts as at that time, you know, a lot of them. I know this be in the public domain. So these are empirical. There are empirical evidences that will be checked upon to know if what I'm saying is the truth or not. You know, a lot of people from the grassroots. You didn't know to be a commissioner, House of Assembly member before your works were being rewarded as at that time. Even the ward executives at that time, they were put in a cluster and contracts were given to them. And this gives a kind of a mindset, a sense of belonging, that this is our party. This is, permit me to use that word, a company that all of us jointly agreed and formed. But these days, I know it does not happen that way again, because from my own experience or findings, as at the last time, I cannot count any person from the ward level, from my side, I am an Ubuluku man, from my side, that did one contract because it was recommended from the ward. It's always from the top. So conclusively, I can say that the pattern of politics now and then, it's a very wrong thing for somebody's past to be more admirable than his present or future. But that is what it is now, and I hope that that there should be an improvement to that effect.
Yeah. That being said, a lot of people will disagree with you on the principles of party appreciation. Some will argue that funds being tied around appreciation party leaders then is now being used for observable developmental projects. What are your thoughts?
Well, I would like to know the aspect of developmental projects we are talking about, because I can categorically tell you that what was happening then is still happening now. I hear a lot of razzmatazz about the road constructions. I want to make this point. I am a member of PDP, you know. So, but like I said that my position will be without any sentiments or any prejudice. So it is not as though this is not intended to vilify anybody. You understand? It's not intended to vilify anybody, but because I am a Deltan, I want the best for my state, and this is why I am taking this position. I will always be a Deltan, even party man or no party man. You know. So when we are talking about developmental strides, you know, I want to see it from the angle that you are talking about the roads, maybe few roads of along Okpanan Road, and there may be some places in the states. The truth is that there is no one government that can tar all the roads in the states. So after one government, another comes up, the roads are still there. I want to give an instance again. During the time of Uduaha, it's been said all over that Uduaha did not do anything. This did not do it. But during the time of Uduaha, I am an Ubuluku man. Uduaha, you know, constructed the road from Iseluku to Ubuluku, Ubolona to Ubuluku to Ubolona. Uduaha gave us the general hospital in Ubuluku and some other remodeling of primary schools, and you know, but of all the roads, there are still 8 roads in Ubuluku as I speak. You understand? So what am I saying? That one government cannot tar all the roads. But are we as Deltans supposed to be talking about roads at this time of our life? Are we supposed to be talking about few roads that are constructed along this? Why I'm emphasizing on Okpanan Road is that we are in Asaba. There are other areas like, what's it called, Achalibuzo, that junction opposite the former deputy governor of it. It's a stretch. This December, I took through the road. I said, so is this length of road is still not that as at this time? We have a lot of places. So one government will not tar all the roads, but we have states like Akwa Ibom. Akwa Ibom, as I speak, is on a supersonic ride to the industrial revolution. The facts are there. The facts are there. From what the government of Akwa Ibom came on board and saw the need to declare a state of emergency in industrialization, and it's working out good for them. Are we going to talk about the strange company in Honor, or are we going to talk about the plastic plant in Itu? Are we going to talk about the flour mill that was recently commissioned? These are projects, industrial projects. Now they are into aviation now. They are into aviation now, having their aviation industry. The last government built an airport. This government has gone into aviation business now. This is what we call, for me, this is what I think that should be called developmental strides. Why am I speaking like this? Because we are making more emphasis on road, giving more emphasis on road. That is what Ekiti State is also talking about. That is what Jigawa is also talking about. There is no state in Nigeria that will not lay credence to one road or the other that they have constructed. That is the mindset of government. Let us construct road. But what is the comparative advantage of the states of Delta State to other big names like I have just mentioned, Akwa Ibom, and other places? What is the comparative advantage? What sector can we stand as can we boldly talk about now that Delta State has done better than every other state? That Delta State has done better than every other state. And I want to tell you now, Mr. Peter, that we are still searching for that sector. We are still searching for that sector. Now, the same Akwa Ibom I'm talking about, do you know that in agriculture now, before you call one or two states that are proficient in production of cocoa, you must call Akwa Ibom. They still have oil, just like Delta has oil. They still have oil. But they are not, standing on the fact that we have oil, we will not diversify into other places. We want to talk about cocoa production now. You call Akwa Ibom. Before 1 or 2, 3, you call Akwa Ibom. Are we only mentioning Akwa Ibom? Recently, when P2B was in government, when he was in government, you know about the hero company. It is the company is called Interfat. P2B had to go to South Africa, did a kind of an agreement with what's it called now? A brewery company in South Africa, Cyber Miller. They reached agreement, and Cyber Miller came. It was a kind of a counterpart funding. Anambra State and Cyber Miller, and that is the Euro company you have in Onitsha now. Do you know how many youths that company has taken off the streets? This is my dream for Delta State. This is my dream for Delta State. Only last year we began to hear about KIP, Kwale Industrial Park. Just last year they started weeding when other states are even concluding. We just started weeding, and I want to tell you now that it will still take another governor that has the drive, that has made that has that resolve, to declare a state of emergency in industrialization, to have that thing continued. So that is.
You seem to be dissatisfied with the developmental strides of Delta State. Speaking of comparative advantage, like you mentioned, Delta State is in the business of raising entrepreneurs in agriculture and other fields in programs such as YAGEP, STEP, and the likes, which appears to have lifted people from poverty and joblessness. Isn't that a step in the right direction?
Yeah, good concepts from the start. But the question is, how purposeful is it? I think it is high time we began to divorce charity from real empowerment. Charity from real empowerment. You know, there are empowerments that are imaginary. The empowerment that are imaginary. You imagine that you have taken more than 20,000 youths off the streets by giving them charity. That is why I call it imaginary. But is it purposeful? What does it tend to? What is your end drive? As in, where are you driving to? That after the government, can you look back to say that out of this 20,000 that I have given this empowerment, at least I can hit my hand on my chest to say that let it be 1,000 of them, 1,000 of them that are now standing. They are now sufficient in what they are doing, and they are creating further jobs from the empowerment you have given to them. This empowerment, it has been on. It does not just it didn't just start. Sorry, it didn't just start. You know, during the time of Uduaha, there was a program, Songhai Delta. I'm up there something. You know, there were all names, you know, branded names for an imagined empowerment, branded names. But today, can you stand to show me one person from that Amupe or Songhai Delta that is standing to say that during this time I got this empowerment, and because of this empowerment I am making 100,000 per month after about 7 years of Uduaha's tenors, that's has government. Do we have such number that out of the 20,000 we can see 1,000? So you see, the names are good, but the system, the operational system, to me, is obsolete. It's obsolete. Empowerment should be, like, I know, empowerment, there should be timing, there should be supervision, monitoring, if you like, and the real empowerment. I want to give an instance, what I can at all time, just permit me to call it the law of youth empowerment, propounded by the one we call Obinna Iyebu. He said that in 2013 he took 58 Oba youths. I'm citing as an example because any government can take that as a template for if you really want a purposeful empowerment. That in 2013 he took 58 Oba youths and he enrolled them in one business training or the other. And in 2007 he went and brought them out and settled each of them with 3 million naira. He did not stop at that. He went further to give them his contacts to import goods from abroad. Goods from abroad. So after a year or 2 years, he went back. He went back to check somehow about this, that some of them were not doing well. He had to give them another money, you know, and help them also. That now among them, they have about 38 millionaires that are making others millionaires. That is what I call purposeful empowerment. You don't just gather people in their thousands just to make headlines. Gather people in their thousands and give them 100,000 after 1 or 2 weeks training. No, what is your drive? I also want to give an example. In the first dispensation of this present government, there were some youths that were taken to Ogwashuku to learn electricals. I happen to know one of them. And at the expiration of their 2 weeks training, I said, my brother, congratulations. I heard you were among these people that were taken to Ogwash to do training. Congratulations. And, you know, the way he dismissed that congratulatory message was so annoying. He said, bros, how can we call that empowerment? That they were taken to learn electricals for 2 weeks. And in that 2 weeks, their instructor was not consistent. And at the end of that empowerment, they were given 80,000, one ladder, and some kids to go and handle electricity. Is that not pushing them to their early grave? And he swore to me that if any of them that went for that training handles electricity, that person will be done for. And those are the numbers we are counting that we have empowered. Why not make it, why not cut it down? That to say that in this 1 year, I am taking just 100 or 200 persons, and I'm taking them through a training of 2 years, at least minimum 2 years, in whatever field. We are not talking about cosmetology now. We began to hear lately cosmetology. They will gather, we teach them how to paint people's face and carry a bus to them, and you think that this is what this person will live for throughout this present day. Why not take 200, just 200? Take them through proper training. Let it be a process. Let it be a process. Proper training. You monitor them, and even after empowering them, you also give them time to monitor them, to know how they are doing. No, this is not what is happening, and that is why I term it as an imaginary empowerment. So we should do more of pragmatic empowerment than imaginary empowerment. That's my take on it.